Welcome to Aging is for Everyone. I'm Marian Deutschman, and our subject for today is lifelong learning, which means it can be done on an informal basis or a formal basis. It can be done for skill building or maybe for personal fulfillment. Our guest today, our first guest, is Dr. Kevin Telford, who's Associate Professor and Director of the Core Curriculum at Daemen College. What are the opportunities for skill building and personal fulfillment at Daemen College?
Oh, there are many. And it's interesting you should talk about lifelong learning. It's as part of our college mission. We try to tell students that it is a lifelong process. And so when we
even for young students?
Even for young students, we try to instill in that it's just the beginning. It's just the beginning of a long road. And the fact that one of the things that we do to encourage our senior members of our community to come onto the campus is to allow them to enroll as auditors in the classroom for free. So any person in the community can come and take a class for free, and we've had many in history and political science, literature classes, philosophy classes, and even in my French classes we have people who come in.
How does one do that?
You could contact the Academic Affairs Office at 839-8227 and contact them, and they'll give you any information that you need.
And then, so there's an application process. No qualifications looked at, I assume? Correct.
And they can do it formally by actually going through the registrar and enrolling formally in the class, or as has happened with myself, they just approach the faculty member and the faculty member welcomes them into the classroom. And I think it's been a wonderful experience, not just for me as a teacher and for those of us, my colleagues who have done it, but for the students. They love it. It really enhances the learning experience.
The students
love it. I have a lady who audits some of my classes from Snyder, and she has an amazing collection of fashion dresses and lace, and we were doing a French culture class at the upper level, and we were talking about Louis XVI, the court of Versailles, and the lady brought in lace and showed it to the students and said, this is lace that would have been worn on dresses at the court of Versailles. So they were absolutely blown away. Yeah.
So the students enjoyed it, and she, of course, must have.
Yes, she really does, and she marvels so much at the talent of the younger students. It's really great to see.
So they contribute to the learning process.
Absolutely.
Now, do you have? Now, are they motivated?
Oh, yes.
Some of them might start, but are they motivated to go through the semester, and do they take the exams?
Yes.
They do.
I find in my experience, and my colleague in history and government who's done it as well, they fully participate in the class. They're active participants in the class. We try to tell the students that students learn as much from each other as they do from the professor, which I believe is true. And certainly when you have somebody who might have experienced or lived through the the Vietnam War,
right,
in a class on the Vietnam War, it brings it alive for the students when people can share personal experiences and their memories of what it was like in 1970, watching the news and seeing things happen, and it really does make it come alive for the students.
That's great. So if somebody wanted to take a class, you've given them that process. Are there other kinds of activities on campus that the general public can participate in, and are they also for free?
Yes, we have Dr. Gary Olson, who's the I say new president. This is his second full year at Daemen. Instituted a Distinguished Leaders lecture series, and we've had a number of people. Mayor Byron Brown was our last guest. We've had Brian Higgins. We're going to continue that into the future, and that again is advertised to the local community that they're welcome. It's free and open to the public in general, and that's the presidential level. We also have departmental speaker series. We have a new one this year, the History and Politics speakers series, and we had a speaker last night, and there's going to be the next one coming in October, and there's going to be a different speaker every month throughout the academic year.
And people would go to your website, and do they have to make a reservation, or
No.
what's the process?
They would certainly look at the website. We have, and again, since Dr. Olson has been with us, we have a new online information system called the Daemen Voice. And members of the community can again contact the campus, find out how to subscribe to the Daemen Voice, and receive the email with the online magazine every week, which tells them everything they need to know about upcoming events, and the fact that it is free, no reservations are necessary, and the public is certainly welcome.
And they would just get on your mailing list, is that it? Or go to the website, they wouldn't even have to get on your mailing list?
They would sign up for the Daemen Voice, and they would automatically get the email to their email every week, and they just click on the link and everything is there for them.
Now, you said that this is part of the mission of the college. Could you define that mission a little bit? Is it common for most of the colleges? We have so many colleges in the area. Do you know if that is a common kind of offering?
I wouldn't be able to say for certain in other colleges. It certainly wouldn't surprise me if other colleges did that. But in terms of Daemen's mission, we see learning as a lifelong process, and we're certainly concentrating on being involved in the community, not just the inner city communities where many of our students do their service learning courses, but also the local Amherst community and the broader community. So we see that the campus cannot exist in isolation. It is part of the community. It is there, and we certainly welcome the interaction with our local partners. So.
And you have film series and readings of different kinds. So could you explain a little bit about that?
Sure thing. The RIC, which is our Research and Information Commons, everybody calls it the RIC. It's not a library anymore, although we do have shelves with books on them, but everything is state-of-the-art.
Big library.
It is huge, and it's a marvelous addition to the campus, and it's open to the public as well. They can come in and use the computers, look at the databases, the online media.
Really?
Yes, they can. And what we do in the RIC 3 times each semester, so 6 times a year, we have a poetry reading led by Peter Sidlecki, who's our poet in residence, and he invites 2 poets, and they read from their work each month throughout the academic year. And again, that's very popular with the local guests.
Well, it sounds as though there is a wealth of information for personal fulfillment, for skill building, and of course anybody who really wants to go back to school and get credit for it, they can do that as well. Well, thank you. I appreciate the whole outline of activities, Dr. Telford. Many of us think of musical fair, but you've got a lot more than that.
That's a jewel on our campus. It's an independent entity, but we're proud to say that it is on our campus, and Randy Kramer, as the artistic director, is just fantastic.
And
the shows they do.
Those shows are great. So I thank you, Dr. Telford,
thank you very much for inviting me.
outlining all of this and raising our awareness of the opportunities for lifelong learning.
Thank you.
We'll be right back with the next segment of Aging is for Everyone.